Okay, guys, Jurassic World Dominion is opening up this weekend, and here is my full spoiler review. Now, I did review it already on the channel. It's up on the movie news show, but I'll cut that part out and put it out separately. My review was pretty harsh. I talked about the story, and I said that while the acting was serviceable, the major parts of the story are the huge problems with this movie. It's too long and it's too convoluted. So let's pull up the IMDb page as we go through this. I'm not going to read you the synopsis. We know what's happening. So while watching the opening scene was that big crocodile dinosaur with the crab boat that we saw. Okay, fine. That's supposed to get us excited to watch this movie that's not about dinosaurs. Well, dinosaurs are in it, but it's a movie about locusts, bugs. Yes, bugs that are eating all the crops. That's the big thing that happens in this movie. That must be stopped. It's not. There's no big dinosaur in it like the Indominus Rex. That's the big bad guy. There's no Indoraptor. There's nothing like that in this movie. It's locusts, bugs. I was just seriously. Bugs. Dinosaurs are out all over the planet now, and you want to go with a story about bugs and crops and food shortages. That's what you want to go with? Really, Colin Trevorrow? Really? Man, I don't, what the heck are you doing? This movie it felt like it was put together, and then it felt like it was chopped up by committee. Like, it really felt like it had a lot of people's inputs into the story. And the biggest problem for me about how this story unfolded, aside from it being about locusts, the way that the movie unfolds is that, okay, we now have to go over there to accomplish this. Okay, let's go over there. But we're going to stop now, and now we're going to have a conversation and talk about why we need to go over there. But you just said we have to go over there and do this thing. But let's talk about it first. It's kind of like, no, that slows down the pacing. We already know that you're going to go do that. So just go do it. Show us already. Get to it. Snap to it. And okay, they do that once. Okay, fine. Do they do it twice? They do it multiple times. Okay, we got to go up there and climb that ladder. But first, let's talk about oh, it was cool to meet you, man. Yeah, when the OG cast meets the new cast, it's kind of like, oh, it's nice to meet you. I read your books. I know that there's a big dinosaur over there getting ready to eat us, but let's talk about your book and your papers and stuff like that. It's kind of like, oh my God. And I felt like the OG cast was a bit of a waste in this. Yeah, it's a bummer. I hate to say that because I like the Jurassic Park cast. This young girl, actually, for me, the one that plays the clone girl, she was the standout. And I wish they kept more with the story of Bryce Dallas Howard and Chris Pratt. They're trying to be like the parents for her. Even though they're not, and they go through that in the beginning with the drama saying, you're not my parents, kind of thing. And they're trying to protect her. And I wish it was more like they got more of that. And it does come around to full pass that her and Chris Pratt are together. All of this buzz out there before this movie dropped was that there's going to be this new dinosaur in there that's going to be like the Joker, the one that wants to watch the world burn. So I was like, okay, cool. There's going to be like a big new monster or big dinosaur. And it's just there. It's not the main focus of the movie. It's not the big bad guy. The bugs are. Speaking of which, okay, so the bugs get out and they're on fire, but all of a sudden they're flying through the forest, and then a moment later, all of a sudden, all of the forest is on fire. It's kind of like, what? It doesn't happen like that, guys, especially with Greenwood. And then they do have some action scenes in there that were okay with this new one that has the feather. So I like that. The pilot, this girl that was supposed to be like the LGBTQ representation, her Yeah, I don't know what they were doing with her. She's just there. She's they need a pilot, so she's it. She doesn't really do anything significant in the movie. Other than that, there are some cool action scenes, but that's all they are. Just action scenes. With them trying to corral some of the raptors. There was some cheeky banter that was between Sam Neill and Chris Pratt that was interesting because they were both knowledgeable of raptors, right? So they do some nods to the established lore, and yeah, the complaints about it being too long. There were some interesting images in it, but it got too. They had these two storylines that between the old cast and the new cast, and you know that they were going to eventually meet up in the third act, and it just felt jarring, the jumps in between those two storylines. It wasn't very well mixed, and this was one of the new dinosaurs. This wasn't the. I don't know if this was supposed to be the Joker one, because it had these long talons kind of thing that do get used in the big throwdown at the end, but this one was more like a vulture, big vulture one that gets cleared. And if it was looking at her and saw that she went under the water, it would just go. And birds do that. They put their beaks underwater to get her. So she wouldn't. She would have should have probably died there, which sucks because I do like Bryce Dallas Howard quite a bit. And yeah, like there was no tension to it because even like this scene, it should have been very tense, but it wasn't. This too, the T-Rex comes, it's supposed to be tense, and I wasn't feeling it. I just now I'll say this, that it does have some breathtaking cinematography. But most of those shots that we showed the dinosaurs running with the horses, that's just like wrap up scenes. Those are just pickup shots. Those are B roll. Those have nothing to do with the movie. It did have some commentary about dinosaurs, like the underground circuits of using them to, kind of like pit fighting like they do with chickens and dogs and stuff like that. They sort of hinted at that kind of stuff, but kind of waste. So maybe this was supposed to be the Joker type dinosaur. Not anywhere nearly as menacing as Indominus Rex. Yeah, and you can see, you can't quite see it there. Maybe if I, in this photo, you can see, oh no, it won't because I have a different background. But you can see sort of in the background here that there's a fire, and that's the fire that the bugs create. Yeah, if it being too, that I don't think ever happened in the movie. If it did, it happened when I went out to go to take a leak. Because it's long. It's very long. And then this whole action sequence with the motorcycles in Moreno or Moleno or something. Yeah, you thought that would be cool, but it's not. And some of the stunt work was not that good either. It was kind of like, really? Bryce Dallas Howard has a pretty cool scene in that setting where they have the motorcycle chase with the raptors. She jumps from building to building, which was kind of cool, but then some of the other stuff was just kind of like, meh. Colin Trevorrow, unfortunately, dude, I think this will be your last big picture. I know it's going to make money, but I think you need to go make your own smaller films. By the sounds of it, it was well, I don't know. I guess because he was supposed to direct episode 9. He had the script for it and everything, and people really preferred that script. But I don't know if it would have turned out any better than what we got with Rise of Skywalker. I was going to say that, we dodged a bullet. but maybe not, because Jurassic World Dominion, man, and it's a bummer, because I really enjoyed Jurassic World, and I thought that Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom was probably my favorite of this new series, because I like the stuff about the cloning stuff. I like the stuff. Whoops. I like the stuff of them breeding dinosaurs for arming purposes. All of that stuff is put in the background now. It's all about locusts and stuff like that. So, just looking at some of the images for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Yeah, you're not going to have cool action sequences like that. With them running away from the volcano. You're not going to get stuff at the end with the Endoraptor. You're not going to get cool imagery like this. Yeah. Yeah, you're not going to get stuff like that in this, sadly. I like the new cast. I like the Mamadou Achi. He's kind of like on the inside of Biosyn, helping them. He's kind of like the mole inside Biosyn. Let's go take a look at the IMDb again here. I'll show you who I'm talking about. Mamadou Achi. He was in Archive 81. Right here. Whoops. Get out of there, ad. And Ramsey Cole. So he kind of helps out Sam Neill and Laura Dern penetrate the evil base of Biosyn. And he's just telling them, oh, don't use those elevators down there because that'll take you to the lower levels. And it's just, some of the dialogue is just so, it's too on the nose for me. It's kind of like cringeworthy. But I do like Mamadou Achi, and I think he's a good actor. And his character, he helps him out, but yeah. The young girl, though, I wish they kept more with that storyline about them trying to have them as parents. Bryce Dallas Howard, though, she does. Okay, so her and Chris Pratt do have a good scene when they're on the plane going in towards the Biosyn lab, where they're like, "I love you," and there's like, they look at each other with that moment because there's only one ejection chair, and the plane's going to go down, it's going to crash. And he puts her in the chair, and they look at each other, and it's like, at least you're going to make it out of this. And he says that they love each other, and that was probably my favorite scene. Yeah, because of how good they are as actors, they pulled it off. But like, that's the only thing that got me close to feeling emotion in this. B.D. Wong was back as Wu, right? But he's not a bad guy anymore. He wants to do good. He was the one that engineered the locusts. And they bring it back around to some of the things, like, you know how in Jurassic Park they had that shaving cream can with the, like, Biosyn was going to be the one robbing them, Hammond, of all of the dinosaur DNA samples. And that comes up again because we see that the evil bad guy, let's see if we can see him here, Campbell Scott, had that can on his shelves. So they went and retrieved it. And I know that's supposed to be an Easter egg that everybody's supposed to be kind of like, yeah. But for me, it was just lacking. It didn't have that same impact, which kind of sucks. Because it's, even the bad ones like Lost World, I still like to revisit every now and then because it has some cool dinosaurs and action sequences in it, like with the T-Rexes. But there's nothing like that in here in Jurassic World Dominion. We see the dinosaurs fight with each other, but there's no, we see them get out of their cages once. Okay, I wanted to take a look at this guy's resume because I thought he was the father of Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, but maybe I was thinking of somebody else. When would that be? Though? Yeah, so he was Richard Parker in the Amazing Spider-Man series. Okay, so that is. He's the big bad guy. Not very good either. Not very good. Uh, yeah, and as I said, they kind of neutered Doctor Wu in this one. He wants to become a good guy now, and it's kind of like, that's not what you were telegraphing with the first two installments of Jurassic World, guys. It was kind of like he was like the mastermind behind all of this. And just to take that away, to say that he wants to re-engineer the bugs so that because the bugs eat only a certain type of crop. That's the big evil plan, that they'll go out and eat everybody else's crop, but leave alone biosyn engineered crops so that they can have control over the food market. And that's the big problem with this series and this episode or this installment, is that, the crops. It's all about crops, people, and the food. It's not about dinosaurs all over the planet and stuff like that, learning to live with each other. They didn't cash in on that. They jettisoned that. And that bums me out quite a bit. So those are some of my thoughts of the spoilers, guys. Let's take a look at the tomato meter. 34% by the critics. Now, I was a little bit higher than that. I gave it a 5.5 out of 10. 79% by the audience score. It's just one of those ones where, like as I said, even the bad ones that people don't like, even Jurassic Park 3, I'll still revisit that one because there's some cool things with that big one with the big fin. There was some cool scenes in there. It was just it's a bummer, man. It's a bummer. And I think this audience score will come down a little bit over the weekend. We'll have to see how this goes. I do think that it'll still be number one at the box office. I did some of the snapshot reviews in my spoiler-free review. That'll be up on the channel later today. It's just going to be a snippet that I cut out from the main movie news show that we do. I want to take a look at the box office numbers, perhaps, and see if there's going to be perhaps any insights. So it was left open for more sequels, Arglass asks. Yeah, I guess there could be more sequels, but they would have to reimagine it. They would have to really go with why are the dinosaurs out now? And learning to coexist with each other. They sort of hint that Blue, the raptor, is living in the forest near Chris Pratt's character, but and they're sort of living in harmony, but they're not. It's just okay. So I pretty much agree that it's going to be number one at the box office this weekend. They project it to be 125 million, 300 plus worldwide, because it's already opened up in China. We saw numbers from there. It was 1,500 there, and I think it made like 1,500 domestically. So we'll have to see how that works out. I think it's going to drop on the second week because okay, so this weekend Jurassic World Dominion will be number one, but June 17th, next Friday, is when the new Lightyear movie comes out, and that's been getting rave reviews. So I think Jurassic World Dominion is only going to have 1 week at the number one spot. And I think that's, yeah. Because Lightyear has so much wide acclaim, it's got even people like me interested in going out to see it. So I hear good things, and Jurassic World Dominion, sadly, it's a huge letdown, and I think a lot of people are going to come out with that same tone. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of videos out there trashing it, and I think it's rightly so, but I just don't want to go overboard with it. You know what I mean? You heard my thoughts. You heard my arguments about the plot, the story, and the direction of it, and Colin Trevorrow. I know that he has to answer to the studio heads and stuff like that, but he's the one that everybody's going to be looking at when this kind of crashes and burns at the box office in week 2, and especially in week 3 when Elvis comes out, then yeah, I would. It's going to hang in there, but I think it's going to be hard pressed to make. It may not even make $1 billion once the word of mouth gets around. And I don't mean it to be discouraging to not go out and see it. If you're still intrigued, guys, go out and see it. Because if you're a fan of the franchise, you will want to see it for that value alone. If you're a fan of the actors, you want to see how the new cast interacts with the old ones. But for me, it's going to round out with me being like, I don't really want to revisit it again. Now, it's not terrible in the sense that it's going to fracture the fan base. It's not The Last Jedi bad. It's not kind of like, wait a minute, one of the characters is now kind of a butthead like they did to Luke. No, they're not going to. It's not that bad. It's not terrible. It's not a worst movie of the year. It's not going to be on the worst movies of the year list. It's going to be on the most disappointing movies of the year, but it's not one of the worst movies. It's just, it didn't feel like a satisfying conclusion to Jurassic World. It didn't. I'm sorry, the wind is blowing my covers. But yeah, that's the ending. My summation is that it wasn't a satisfying conclusion to this series, and I don't know how it'll continue on anymore beyond this. And I was hoping that it would reinvigorate the fan base again to clamor for more. If we do, hopefully it won't be with Colin Trevorrow. Okay, guys, that's my spoiler review for Jurassic World Dominion. Bummer. All right, guys, if you don't know, we do a live movie news show daily, 12 p.m. Eastern, Monday to Friday, where we talk about all of the big movie news headlines. This was today's slate, and we had lots of fun, so I hope you can come join us someday in the live chat, because I always like to talk with you guys in the live chat. And there's always opportunity for you to participate in things like movie reviews, trailer reactions, full movie news live shows where we talk about the big movie news headlines of the day. And on the weekends, we do a horror weekly roundup where we talk about all the big horror movie news, stuff like that. So we do full series watch-alongs for like Obi-Wan, Stranger Things is up on the channel. You're going to find something that you like here on Mirror Domains. And I'll see you next time.